as like Nigerian getaway.
I've got a dumb question.
What
is Afropop?
Right. It's a vague term. We know.
What does it represent?
I think now, what it should represent, I think, is like cool.
This new wave.
Yeah. Like, you know how when you think of hip hop, you think of the lifestyle.
Yes, right.
Afropop is now like a youth lifestyle. I don't think it's just the music. I think it's.
So, do you think it compares to the Korean wave? Is that the energy?
I think it.
Because
I think that's a very good comparison, but I think because of our infrastructure, we're not as big.
Okay, so the thing
because the Korean wave has like the movies also, the shows, the movies.
We have Nollywood, and people underestimate it because it's Africa, but Nollywood run shit.
So
these are Nollywood stars that we look at like one kind. When they leave the country, they're superstars.
Like on a global scale, apart from the music, as you said, Afropop is a movement. So you have the music, the fashion,
and the movies.
Yeah. So apart from the music, maybe the fashion.
The movies, like, that's why I said infrastructure. It is, I'm sure you know about filming projects. It's insane filming anything in Nigeria. Like, just look at us. We're praying for there to be light. That's why we're recording at this time. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, if you're filming a Nollywood set to put lights in somewhere in Anambra, in some rural, it's a hectic, like the logistics, the roads, all of that. But you say it's global, like K-pop and all of that just recently became global. Like almost maybe half a decade before Afropop really started catching on.
Right, but these are not things that have happened by chance. Right.
You mean for us? Or for
no, I mean for the Korean wave, right?
Right?
And also, I think it's more than music, film, and fashion. So the creative economy is like from start to finish, everything. The people who are selling CDs, the people who are building, what's that African streaming platform owned by? It starts with M or whatever. Easy, right? And
Empower.
No, not even Empower. There's another, like it's an actual streaming thing, like Boomplay. I can't remember what it's called now. No, it's or something. I don't know. It's from Kenya or whatever.
No, it's not.
It is something, right? So it's like a whole thing. But the reason why the Korean wave is going is happening so strategically, right? It's a combination of big data. It's a combination of governmental support. It's an understanding of the power that is there, right? The soft power. And so like this conversation is dead on arrival because where we're headed to is that even though we innovate, right? And there's a very interesting thing happening right now. Do you know CC Hub?
Yeah.
Okay, so they've recently created a tautology, very, very shitty, euphonic, whatever. But they've created a creative practice, right? And it's headed by Ojoma. Ojoma was in charge of arts at West African arts at the British Council for like 15 years or whatever, and she's the managing partner there. And it's literally what CC Hub has done for tech-enabled companies. Right. They are now focusing on that, but for the creative economy. So taking it a step away from, because a lot of the entertainment lifeblood in Nigeria and Lagos was very grant focused, right? And so free money is bad because you are not building viable, sustainable products, right? And when the people wherever decide that they're no longer going to give you money, you're on your ass, right? And it's just also a thing of, if you don't have that product market fit that running a company and having a product dictates, right? I don't know that your products can do well outside. And so so there are people who are trying to figure out we're going to have to just talk. There are people who are trying to figure out the funding and the tech of it, right? But all of that is dead on arrival if you cannot lay like fiber optic cables. Do you understand?
I want to. I'm sorry, Desmond. We're having dirty conversation here, but you said three.
Yes, why are you saying no? So Desmond doesn't like.
I say I'm not smart.
Yes, like is that what you're saying?
No, you're saying.
No, talk with your chest now.
You said there are three things, right? You said big data, governmental support, and the understanding of the potential of soft power. I disagree with you. I think that Afropop for example, why I say Afropop is a culture, like being a Malian, is a
Is it or can it?
can it?
Yes. Can it become like, and I'm sorry I keep using the Korean wave, right? But it's just like an analogy. Are you saying that it has the potential
Do you see
to
what
do that? Or
Does it?
you're saying
Yes,
it is already doing that?
It is like what?
It doesn't.
What?
But she said, she mentioned what, sorry.
No,
government
she
backing.
said 3. So that's why I said what we are lacking.
No, it's not just those 3.
But let me. I know.
Okay,
there
okay.
are a lot of things that go into
okay.
it, like marketing. But you said big data. I think Afropop has accumulated that big data. I think like.
It's cute
somewhere-
to have it. Can you analyze it? What
I
are you
think
using it
that's
for?
where-
Are you
that's
spotting
where-
trends?
That's where now you see people like CK that from nowhere he's not being focused on the Nigerian market, but he takes off on.
Can I tell you what the problem
But
is?
wait. Sorry.
Mhm.
But he takes off on TikTok, and then they focus on it, and he starts chatting at different.
Yeah,
places.
and his music is not optimized for that.
And then we have different artists. Yemi Alade had done that for a minute. That's why I said,
larger Africa.
yeah,
Okay.
we don't really rate Africa, so we don't see it in that way. What I feel like is lacking though, and maybe that's why we have a Kagame shield right here. Rwanda is the only place that kind of gives these kind of opportunities to Africans, right?
The illusion of the opportunity.
Like, yeah,
Bro,
how,
like,
why?
Rwanda is a mirage.
Exactly.
What,
Like,
what
how-
do you mean?
What have
You
they
cannot
done?
move. You cannot take 5 steps in Rwanda without seeing a motherfucker who is very heavily armed. Do you know
But
how?
they just came out of a civil war.
My
Like,
guy, let me
how has
tell you
Rwanda helped
something.
Afropop?
Let me tell you
How?
something. Rwanda has
How
excellent
is it?
PR, and that
It's
is
PR.
the end of the sentence. Full stop.
Yeah. Because like what have
Ask
they done for
Kagame
the
what his
movement?
succession plan is.
I mean, some would say that, as long as he's there and he's doing a good job, why not stay?
Okay, but to go back to the CK thing, right? And at the beginning, when I was explaining creative economy, I think it's very important to understand that if we are not looking for a new, that meeting where they came and divided Africa, right? And where we are at, where we have continued to just be extractive industries, like we just take shit from the ground and then other people do use it. Why the fuck do you want to become that? And the thing is this, if we don't have the infrastructure, the reason why I said can be but isn't, right? If we do not have the infrastructure to analyze the data and then make informed decisions, if we do not have the mechanics for the funding, if we do not have, for example, the thing that you're talking about that CK is doing, is it doing it from Nigeria?
Now, here's the thing. You're very right in terms of structure, right? And you're very right that we are an extractive industry. I remember when people used to talk about some of these artists getting signed to international labels.
Right.
I was always like, no. Because what that means is that you don't own all of
shit.
these
You
Afropop
don't own,
records
yeah.
that we love so much. They're actually not ours. I was a bit disappointed because I thought the whole point of us learning from the Patrice Lumumba's is like, we know that we need to own and keep this shit. But at the same time, there's the reality of you cannot cross over to the American market without using the American system.
100%.
Which is why Don Jazzy told the band, I don't think we should go to America. We should stay here and the Kings here. But both of them are not wrong. Because now that we do have a CK, the Remas, the international guys, potentially they could set up labels there, or we could have like a transatlantic black label.
This is my problem. Could.
Yes,
And
but
it's
all
also
these things are cool now.
Yes, but it's
We
also
don't believe in ourselves enough.
thing of, and it's one thing to be seen.
I do think that's.
I don't think Africans believe in ourselves. We don't believe in our value of Africa.
That's a complicated conversation. First
I
of
think
all,
so.
who the fuck is what is African? How many African countries have you been to?
But why
I don't know
why do we always go back to what is African?
No,
Yes,
but let me
there's
tell you
54
why
countries.
though. I
The
don't
same
know.
way
We do not
Asia is
have.
Asia.
But here's the thing, right? We do not have a Pan-African identity. How the fuck are you going to preserve or fight for shit you don't
We've not agreed
embody?
on
I mean,
one.
the guys that try to push the agenda, they kill them. Now, so.
But the thing though is this, right, Djaji? This is the point I'm trying to make, right? It's a marathon. It's a fucking long one. And so if I am seeing things where, for example, I really like Easy, right? If I'm seeing people make moves that it's akin to like not just setting the blocks. Well, I've not even started setting the blocks yet, but just buying the land first of all, and then digging it, right? And you're saying, okay, for X amount of time, I'm going to stack on top of what already exists because that is the only way that it is feasible. And while I'm phasing out of that, X and Y is going to happen. While that is happening, I'm going to try and get some people into government and try to pass more creative economic friendly laws, right? And on that end, right, there's somebody else who is also saying, right, all of this funding, where I'm saying it's the same thing with nuance, right? It is multi-pronged. There is no one sure, like, this is how we're going to do it. I'm saying, like, as a coalition, like one cohesive movement of people in different places, right? Building an actual fucking creative economy. That means everything from designing platforms. That is everything from owning the tech, owning the masters, owning the PR, right? And then going into, there's a difference between getting signed, right? And a person owning you, and collaboration and partnership, right? So it's like a whole thing. And it's really cute to see that a lot of people right now really, really love Nigerian culture. They really, really do. And that's everything from music to the arts to even just our fucking pidgin, right? And that's really, really good. Why are you converting it? Is it converting? If it isn't, then we cannot say that we are doing what the Koreans are doing. We are not.
Okay, what of in a
Oh, I
space
feel like I've talked a lot.
utility, right? I
Sorry.
think that's what that kind of boils down. What